Welcome to this short demo video which explains what we measure within the WeThrive Engagement Survey and how to view your results in your manager bubble, including your own results, your team's scores and recommendations, your team's comments, and also we will show you how to set up and update your goals for your team. But first, the 4C model, which covers the 16 areas that we measure within the survey. All things that we need in the workplace to function, feel productive, feel engaged. The survey asks one question for each of these areas, and we then ask some follow-up questions in the areas an individual scores lowest. So first, in the red areas, we look at the connection to the company and their customers. Do they understand how others are benefiting from their work? Then we want to know if they understand their personal performance expectations and have a clear understanding of what they're supposed to be doing. Do they feel the team understand each other and are working towards the same goals? And do they feel the team cooperate effectively? Next, we want to know if they feel capable and have the tools they need to do their job well. So do they have the right knowledge and information? Do they have the skills and the resources? And lastly here, do they feel competent in their role and feel they're achieving something? Next, we want to understand the social connection aspects of work, these green areas. Are they getting enough attention from their colleagues and manager? Do they feel a common bond and sense of team spirit? And do they feel their status is recognised? This status area looks at whether people feel that if they do a good piece of work, that this is acknowledged and appreciated by others. So it's all about recognition, this piece. Lastly, you've got the emotional aspects of work. Do they feel secure? Do they feel in control? Are they getting enough headspace? Are they able to work free from worry? And do they find their work meaningful? So that's the 4C model, and that's what we measure within the survey. And now I'm going to take you through your manager bubble and show you what you can access within your WeThrive login. So, using some demo data, we're logged into a manager bubble here, and this is the home page. So within your account, you have a Me section and a My Team section. The first time you log in, you'll be taken to your Me section, which is highlighted on the right-hand side here. And this is for you as an individual. You are not just a manager, you are an employee as well. And this gives you access to any survey results that you've taken part in, and you can view these here by clicking on the links under the Surveys tab. This will take you through to your individual results and report, which show you some different details about your highest scoring area, your 4Cs, your 16 scores, and also any recommendations for some of your lower scoring areas. And these are focused on you as an individual and are helping you. To view your team's results, you can go back to your homepage and switch this tab to My Team. Now, your administrator will have had to assign some employees to you in order for you to have a team dashboard to view. But here you will see yourself as the manager at the top and then your employees listed underneath. Now, to view your team dashboard for any surveys that your team have taken part in, all you have to do is click on the links under Surveys here. So if we click on WeThrive One-to-One, Ed's team have taken part in this survey. Now, Ed has a team of 5 people. So we can see here that it's taken him straight through, and he can see that 5 out of 5 people in his team completed, along with his overall engagement score. Now, if you manage quite a big group of people, you might be able to filter it down and look at different teams, different locations, departments, units, or smaller manager groupings that sit underneath you. But if you manage quite a small group, you might just have this dashboard to view. Now, if you ran the survey anonymously, you won't have access to this individual tab on the right-hand side, which lets you view individual results, but you will be able to view your team's average scores. Now, when you scroll down on your dashboard, you will see the 16 average scores for your team, as well as the minimum and maximum score lines on your graph. These give you an idea of how much variance there is in how people feel about different areas of work. So we can see here that the 2 lines are very close together when we look at skills, and everyone has scored it between 80 and 100%, as well as security, where everyone has scored it between 80 and 90%. Whereas when you look at some other areas, such as status, you can see that someone has scored this 40% and feels they need a bit more recognition, whereas someone is up the other end with a 90% score. So here is where you can see where your team have scored high and where they may have dipped slightly. Now just underneath, you can also add the WeThrive average to your graph, so you can see how you can compare to other people using WeThrive, which can be useful in seeing where certain areas score highly on average. And just underneath that, you will have the coaching recommendations and wellbeing recommendations for your team. So the survey pulls out your lowest scoring areas from the first three colours of the model, so the red, orange and green, and these become your coaching recommendations and the more practical things you can put in place to create positive change. Now under the wellbeing section are the three lowest scoring areas from just the blue confidence areas, so 3 out of the 5 areas. Now, if we take Headspace as an example, the top priority here is to find out why your team don't have time to reflect and think clearly. And we can see that Ed's 5 people scored this 70% on average, and all of them provided further insights. The number of people that provide further insights gives you an idea of how many people in the team marked this particular area as one of their lowest scoring areas. So here we can see that 5 out of 5 people marked Headspace as one of their lowest scores and were then asked some follow-on questions and were asked for some more feedback. Now, if you click on Read More and Assign Actions Goals, here is where you can see those pieces of feedback. So the top one is that they think the culture expects them to be continuously busy. Now, as a manager, if this was something that I wanted to act on with my team, we provide some recommendations to help you decide what to do. And these are bullet pointed underneath, along with some resources as well if you want to read around the subject. And what you can do is you can create a goal with those actions. So if I create a goal with the below actions, it will take me through to a goal with a name and description, which you can edit as you please. It'll automatically be assigned to you, and all of our recommendations will be listed as different actions underneath. Now, if you think that some of these actions aren't relevant to you, you can remove any that you want to clicking the X button next to each one. So it may be there are just a couple of actions that you want to focus on. So we'll remove everything else from this particular goal. So we've got 2 actions here as well as a reading list that they can look at. Now they'll automatically be assigned to you as the manager. They'll have a due date that you can change, and you can also tick them off as in progress or completed. Now it's quite useful to click on edit for each of these actions and put some notes in here about things that you're going to put in place, or update the titles with really specific things that you're going to do. You can then save that action, and once you're happy with it, you can create that goal. When you then go back to your homepage and you flick over to My Team, which is where all of your team data is held, under You as the manager, when you drop this down, you will see that goal appear, and you can then go back into it and you can click on these different actions to update them, and you can edit them, add in your own descriptions and notes about what you've done, and tick it off as completed once you have done it. And this just helps you keep track of everything you are doing with your team's feedback. Then when you go back to your goal, you can see that one action's been completed, so it's 33% complete, and I just need to complete these other tasks. Now, the last piece to show you is your reports page. So if I go back to my home page, I go back to My Team, back into my dashboard, you'll notice there's another tab here which says Reports. Now, if I click on this, the Reports tab is where you can go to compare smaller groups if you've got those to compare, and also view any comments that your team have left. So this manager manages people across 3 different teams, and the group by allows you to select what you're comparing on your graph. So here we've grouped the data by team, but we could group it by location or department, etc. if we wanted to. But here we're grouping by team, and we can see the overall for Ed's team on the left here, and then you've got a breakdown of his smaller team's results here. Now, if you only manage one particular team or department, you may find that your overall bars on the left-hand side match your team's results on the right-hand side, and that just means that everyone who has been assigned to you is also in that team. So it's best to focus on the dashboard if that's the case. But what you also have on this page, and what's most important, is your View Strengths and Opportunities button. When you click on this, you will see any comments that have been left to the 2 optional questions we ask, which are what we love about working here and what we would change for the better. Now, if I go back to View Graph, the second piece you have to view here is the Team Comments button, which is just slightly down the page. When you click on this, you'll be taken through to 4 tabs for our 4 Cs. And then underneath will be the sub areas and any comments that your team have left in these different areas of work. You won't have comments in every single area because people are only asked for free text feedback in their lowest scoring areas. But you can flick between the different tabs to see the comments that people have left in the different areas, and this will give you some context over why some scores have come out a little bit lower than others. And you can get back to your graph by clicking on View Graph, and that will take you through to your reports page. Lastly, if you want to check who's actually taken part in your team, you can go to the Status tab, which will show you everyone in your team that took part in the survey. And you can go back to the We Thrive homepage and look at your own results and also keep track of any of the goals you've set from your team dashboard.